Walt Disney World Vacation and Fastpass. The two names go so well together, but today we're discussing an idea which has been bounced around quite a bit, the idea that this change could mean the end of Fastpass forever. Before we dive into it, let's back up just a little bit and think about how we got here. A few days ago, Disney released information about some changes to the resorts and Fastpass reservations and dining reservations, and talking about how Fastpasses will be temporarily suspended during this Phase 1 reopening. And many friends in our community have said this could mean the beginning of the end for Fastpasses. Now, believe it or not, Fastpass at Walt Disney World has been around for 21 years, since 1999. Hard to believe it. And although it's come a long way from paper Fastpasses and other methods that we've used along the way, the system is relatively similar. You register or sign up or insert your ticket or whatever it is to get a pre-reserved time to come back to an attraction and basically skip the line. Basically, when you have a Fastpass, your line has been held during that time where you would have been waiting. Nowadays, guests pick Fastpasses that have the longest lines and the ones that they want to prioritize on their vacations. Due to this, a tiering system has been implemented a couple of years ago where you get to choose one from Tier 1 attractions and then two Tier 2 attractions. And now that we have an official date for when we'll be returning to the parks, the answer is finally here. Fastpasses will not be there when we return. Let's go over Disney's official statement about it. Disney released this information via the Disney Parks blog, and you can find it linked in the description of this video, but one part I want to bring your attention to is Fastpass Plus and Extra Magic Hours. As a result of COVID-19, the Fastpass Plus service will be suspended for the time being as we plan to use additional queue space to manage capacity at our attractions and maintain physical distancing. We will automatically cancel existing Fastpass Plus selections and share any future updates on the service at a later date. We'll be suspending at this time. I know what you're thinking, Michael, they did not say going away forever, and you are absolutely right, they did not. But that being said, they are postponing it and suspending it for now. So could this mean that in the future they will not return, at least not in the way we know it now? My opinion, there's a definite possibility, absolutely, that this could mean the end of Fastpass Plus as we know it today. Again, not confirmed by Disney, but if Disney's already thinking about the future, like longer term future, after all of this is said and done, perhaps they've already got some plans in place for how they want to transition, and this could be that moment where they could transition us over. A bigger question is, why would Disney want to replace Fastpasses at Disney? They've been around for 21 years. They work for many guests. Absolutely. Why would they want to replace it or kind of modify it? The reason that I've heard is all based on crowd dynamics. You stand in the standard queue line and then guests come back for Fastpass Plus reservations and they get through the line very, very quickly per their Fastpass, and then you end up waiting longer than you would have if you were waiting right in that spot with no Fastpasses. It makes sense, but the reason we have Fastpasses is to kind of put people ahead of the line in some areas and then you wait longer in other areas. That's the idea behind it. Now, by no means is it a perfect system, but it is a system that has worked well for us for many, many years. One of the biggest advantages is it doesn't cost additional money to get a Fastpass. It's included with every ticket and annual pass. Other parks charge for similar services, so having that included is super helpful. Now, with all of that being said, and knowing that I personally am a fan of the Fastpass system at Walt Disney World, is there a possibility that the lines will be shorter throughout Walt Disney World without any Fastpasses? I believe so, but it may only be for the time being. With smaller crowds means shorter lines. But let's say it was standard sized crowds and everyone had to stand in their own line for different attractions, there was no Fastpasses at all. Would the lines everywhere be shorter? I'm not a line queue expert in all these things, but if you just think about it for a moment, I want to go on Space Mountain and I also want to go on Big Thunder Mountain. I can only stand in one spot at any given time. It's just the way of the world, the way it works. So standing in line for Space Mountain, I'm not holding up anyone getting in line for Big Thunder, but the same rules kind of apply for Fastpass. You see what I'm going for? You're not actually standing in a line for Big Thunder, it's all virtual. There's positives and negatives no matter what way you look at it, and changing it around, adding additional Fastpasses or taking away one a day, whatever it is, there are always going to be positives and negatives to this entire system. Let's not forget that Disney already has an entire infrastructure with all their rides with Fastpass Plus. With that said, I do not believe we're going to see it go go away entirely. That's my thought. But it could be replaced with something similar. Let's pretend for a moment that instead of FastPass Plus and making these reservations months in advance, let's pretend you make the reservation on the morning that you get there. As an example, Rise of the Resistance, you go, you have to get a boarding pass the moment the park officially opens. You click it in the app, you get a reservation, and off you go. Imagine something similar for Space Mountain. Let's say it has an hour-and-a-half wait. And you're a late riser. Okay, you arrive at the park at 11 in the morning. No problem. You see it's an hour-and-a-half wait on your phone, you click it, and then in an hour-and-a-half, you go on the ride. That's it. Simple as that. You can't make any other reservations. None. You only go on that Space Mountain. Then after you go, you can make other reservations. But it's a possibility. Maybe instead of FastPass, we see more of a virtual queuing pass. Maybe. That's just one idea of tons of different ideas that are floating around right now, but either way, this is an opportunity. Think of it as an opportunity for Disney to make things even more magical when things get back to normal. Sometimes making changes to some of these things that we know and love is scary, but it also could mean something even more magical on the other side. So we're going to go into it with open minds and open hearts, and remember that the magic is always going to be there. Those are a few of my thoughts about fast passes at Disney. Let me know yours in the comments below. Do you think Disney's going to take this opportunity to modify the FastPass system? Do you think it's going to come back at all? Or do you think nothing's going to change as soon as we get back to normal? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me today. Until next time, have a magical day.